Yannick Ngakoue, who was formerly of the Jacksonville Jaguars, he got into a battle with Tony Khan, I do believe, on Twitter at one point about wanting to be traded. He gets moved out of town with 1 year left on his deal to the Minnesota Vikings. With the Minnesota Vikings, he has 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. The Minnesota Vikings are 1-5, and they just traded him this morning. Yannick Ngakoue, thanks for coming. How you doing? Keep it moving. He is headed over to the Baltimore Ravens, who also have his former teammate in Jacksonville, Calais Campbell. Calais, unlike Yannick Ngakoue, did not want to leave Jacksonville. He found out via call that he was gone. He thought he was potentially going to live the rest of his life down in Jacksonville, get his ass out of here because this is Gardner Minshew's team. Now Yannick Ngakoue joins Calais Campbell and a defensive line that is great. I mean, good. Great. I mean, the Steelers' defensive line in the AFC North, unbelievable. Now, the Baltimore Ravens' defensive line is loaded.
Wow.
You got Matt Judon out there. Matt Judon once told me he was going to put a beam on me for something I tweeted, but watching him play football, unbelievable. Derek Wolfe, stud. Patrick Queen, obviously an inside linebacker from LSU. Another team could have got him. Baltimore Ravens got him in the second round. Congrats to them. Yannick Ngakoue, obviously Brandon Williams, LJ Ford, and they have obviously one of the best secondaries in the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens, I think, got better today. It wasn't like Yannick Ngakoue got traded to Minnesota and sucked. 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. That's a pretty hot start to a season that is 6 weeks into this thing. And also, $6.8 million in dead cap is being held over at the Minnesota Vikings. And the Baltimore Ravens only have to pay like $4 or $5 million or something like that for him. So I don't know how the Minnesota Vikings got into this situation or out of this situation in the particular fashion that they did. But the Baltimore Ravens, I think, won this one, especially if he's immediately going to make their team better. And as you alluded to earlier, they did. They got better today. But are they going to be able to keep up with that Pittsburgh Steelers defense? That's an interesting question. And you got to feel for Joey Burrow, okay? You got to feel for Baker Mayfield. You have 2 defenses in the AFC North that seem like probably the next, I don't know, at least 3 years are going to be stacked, very tough at the top of the division. We'll see what they got. We'll see how it goes. You have to hate this move by the Ravens.
I do, but a part of me loves it too because I love the rivalry so much. Like I have goosebumps because like last year sucked because we went into Baltimore and I knew there was no chance with Mason or Duck. Quack, quack, quack.
Quack, quack, quack.
Rest in peace, Quack. Rest in peace. He's not dead, but you.
But it feels like it does like a few years ago when they would be highlighted. They would always be the Sunday night football game. This year they're back on Thanksgiving as the Sunday night football game. Like, it's going to be awesome. But they did get better.
There used to be cool things like down Station Square down there where they would, not Station Square, maybe South Side, where they would dress a car up like a Baltimore Raven. And people would come down, stop by, grab a bat, hit the car, and then walk away.
I love that.
That was the type of rivalry that Pittsburgh and Baltimore was. It wasn't like we hate you humans like Cleveland and Pittsburgh. It was like, hey, it's going to be a fight. Who wants to come take a swing at these motherfuckers with a bat and a car on State Square? At Nick Morado, what's going on?
Well, there was actual mutual respect there because the Ravens would play and they'd actually win games, and the Steelers would play and they'd actually win games. They'd go into each other's stadiums, trade blows, win games, battle each other in divisional round of the playoffs, everything. In Cleveland, it's the classic bug in the windshield situation.
Yeah, you're talking about
hearing.
Yeah, a lot of talking. You're saying not a lot of action. There's a couple defensive linemen that are changing the game, obviously this year. Myles Garrett is one of them. Welcome back. He just got broken off. He is strip sacking right now like you guys used to on a rapid rate. And then Yannick Ngakoue just got traded from the Minnesota Vikings over to the Baltimore Ravens. He has 5 sacks, I think 2 forced fumbles on the season. He was obviously at the Jacksonville Jaguars, then to the Vikings. Now he's at the Ravens or anything like that. Whenever you are having a year like that, 5 sacks, 2. He's on his way to potentially be a sack leader, by the way. With the rate that he's in, 6 weeks in, you're getting one almost every single week. He's going to have to pick it up. Chandler Jones, I think, had like 77 last year. It was some outrageous number, but he's on his way. Whenever you go into a game, does it matter what team you're on if you're a pass rusher, or is it something you can just get dropped into any scheme? Like, will he be able to just pick up right where he left off with Minnesota whenever he lands in Baltimore?
Well, it depends. It really does depend on how much freedom that defensive line, defensive coordinator, head coach gives your pass rusher. All right, so for a guy like me, all right, if I wasn't allowed to make an inside move, which people know for me is that spin move that I did, some defenses don't like that. They frown against that and say, hey, you know what? You're losing contain. You're doing all these things, which would hurt me as a pass rusher. All right. Now, I've been lucky enough to the places where I've gone, they have allowed me to go ahead and be me and do me. Okay. So it may have been a little bit different for me. I don't know how it's going to be for Yannick. I don't know if they're going to allow him to do certain things, but I do know when you have skills to get after that quarterback, you're going to find a way to get to him. All right. And he's had a tremendous start. He has 5 sacks. I can't even believe he got traded. You know, I think it's kind of disrespectful, to be quite honest. But
Absolutely.
in the end, I think he's going to show, you know, the whole NFL and definitely the Vikings that it was a mistake to get rid of him.
I guess that is where he wanted to go. I guess he's from Maryland. He always wanted to be a Raven. So I don't know if he potentially asked for it or if they did it, whatever the case. I don't know how it plays out.